Week in and week out as a Packers fan, there's always a boogeyman on Packers Twitter that every Packers fan has a rational fear of. Week 16, it was Derrick Henry, and we heard about him for months before that game. This week, it's Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald. Today, I'm going to take a look at Jalen Ramsey versus Davante Adams, how that will affect what the Packers are running on offense, and who I think wins that battle. Here is what I learned after my video about the Packers-Rams. That preview kind of blew up 9,000 views. Here's what I learned. Rams fans love Jalen Ramsey more than they love their team. I'm serious. If the Rams lose by 50, but Jalen Ramsey has a pick or two, has a good game, Rams fans will celebrate. I mean, they love this kid, and granted, I mean, he's very talented, but it's a weird love. So here we go. Davante Adams versus Jalen Ramsey. Look, there's two extremes that are divided right now between both Packers and Rams fans, so both segments of the world. Davante Adams is going to go off for 120 yards, or Davante Adams is going to have 0 receptions for -5 yards. I don't think either of those are happening. Now, there's a lot more that goes into a cornerback and wide receiver matchup than a corner shadowing a wide receiver the whole game. Obviously, a cornerback number one is going to shadow a wide receiver number one for most of the game. But with the Packers especially, and Nathaniel Hackett, what he's doing over there with the offense, it's a lot different than that. And Davante Adams is going to get a lot more snaps in the slot. He's going to get a lot more snaps away from Jalen Ramsey than a typical wide receiver would going up against Jalen Ramsey or a good cornerback. Davante Adams was asked about this earlier this week, and he had a great answer to it and how that might help him this week.
What do you think that does for your game, the fact that you're not just a wide right or wide left, you line up everywhere in all kinds of different formations?
Well, it puts you in a good position where, certain people where we'll see how they play this game, but Jalen has been he's traveled, but he doesn't go in the slot all the time. So as much as we like, me, I like to go against anybody and have just good on good as much as possible. But if you would make it easier and give me a matchup on a linebacker or a safety who's not as used to covering a guy like me, then, we'll take that favorable matchup too. Whereas certain guys, they can, they're great outside receivers, are great inside, but they can't be moved around to take advantage of some favorable matchups. So I probably said that that's the best advantage of it.
Now, a lot of Seahawks fans say their pride, their trophy is that Jalen Ramsey held DK Metcalf to nothing that whole game in the wild card round. Here is the biggest difference between DK Metcalf, Mike Evans, DeAndre Hopkins, compared to Davante Adams. Davante Adams is going to beat you with his feet. He's going to get 5 yards of separation within the first half second. He's going to have a perfect release off the line of scrimmage, and he's going to get that separation. Where DK Metcalf, he might not have that speed, he might not have that agility to get open so quick, but he can jump up there and just like Calvin Johnson, go up and grab it. Davante Adams isn't that type of receiver necessarily. His skill comes in the release. Now you also have to look at the quarterbacks and Jalen Ramsey. I mean, if a good wide receiver game against him is 4 receptions for 40 yards. That's a good game against him. You look at his other stat lines throughout the season, that is a stellar game against Jalen Ramsey to have 4 receptions and 40 yards. And I hope that's not disrespecting him. I got quite a little hate because I said Davante Adams struggled on Jalen Ramsey, and I was apparently underestimating or being disrespectful to Jalen Ramsey. I don't know what I have to do to meet that level of worshiping him. Overall, I think a lot more of the Rams' defensive line, the Packers moving Davante Adams around, goes into this than a lot of people think. And Jalen Ramsey is talented. He's great. Davante Adams, if I had to predict the stat line from him, I'm going to say that 5 reception, 45-yard game. Just because, obviously Ramsey's going to do great against him. But also, I think this game plan is going to be much more around the running game, much more around the short routes to Robert Tonyan, Allen Lazard, more than it is taking those deep shots to Adams where he can get separation down the field. And that's kind of what the Jets were able to do really well against the LA Rams. They took what the defense gave them. They were able to run with Frank Gore. They were able to get that going. and they ended up winning. They ended up pulling one off. So, I mean, there's your formula to beat Brandon Staley. It's going to be a fun one. Like I said, number 1 wide receiver, number 1 corner. It'll be a good one. I hope Davante gets a touchdown. I hope he does good, just so I can say, you sure about that, to all the comments I got on this video this past week telling me that Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald are going to absolutely destroy the Packers. But either way, I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are too. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Twitter. Go Pack Go.